Braden, it's Trevor Gross from CUTigers.com here. How good did it feel to get that Wake Forest game under your belt and get a few catches and just get off and running?
It felt good. Was a little nervous getting back out there. I was actually more nervous for that game than I was when I came back for the Ohio State and an LSU game. But it felt good to be back out there with my guys. Camp was obviously different. Because I had a different mindset. I'm actually able to play, and I'm just thankful that we got that game because with the coronavirus and everything that's going on, you never really know how long the season's going to be or what may happen or what may change. It's really a day-by-day thing. So I was just thankful, to get that game under my belt. But now it's just, going out there showing that I can be a consistent player like that.
How excited are you about you kind of reestablishing the tight end position at Clemson in the passing game? It's been of course, you were out all year last year, but it's been kind of dormant ever since 2016 with Jordan Leggett. But now you guys, between yourself and Davis Allen and JC and Jalen, you've got a real good group.
It's all about just igniting the fire and just letting other guys know. Whether it be other guys on the team or even guys in the position group that the tight ends can make plays. And then we just have to go out there and prove it. When your number gets called, you have to take advantage of the opportunities. And like I said before, you have to show you can be consistent because if you just do something one time and, you never really do it again, then, how good is that? It's not really that good. So, you just try to go out there and, we just try to be the best group that we can be in the run game and in the pass game. And just try to make plays when our numbers are called. And I think that, our confidence is growing. I think that Wake Forest game helped us out a lot. It showed guys that, that we can play, we can make plays. And I think that'll be a big thing for us moving forward.
Braden, this is Larry Williams at TigerIllustrated.com. From your view, how is Davis Allen different this year compared to last? I know he's obviously has a bigger frame, but just curious for your insight there.
I would say the biggest thing is probably knowledge of the game, knowledge of the offense. Obviously, he's gained. I'm not sure how much Davis actually weighed last year, but he's put on a lot of muscle. Davis is a really strong guy, very physical, and he's very good at the point of attack, and obviously catching the ball as well. And, I think I said it last time, but Davis is a great player. He's going to continue to grow. He's going to continue to be a good player. But, I would probably say just learning the offense, because outside of the quarterback and, probably on the offensive side of the ball, the tight end is probably the hardest position to learn in our offense just because we're moving, we're doing so many different things. So that can take a while to learn it, but I think he's probably picked it up very quickly. And there's little small details that, that you start to learn the longer you're in the program and things like that, and he's starting to pick up on all those things. But I would say that's probably the biggest difference because, I felt like he was a very physical guy last year, but even more so now, he's that extra year in the weight room. And I know he was working out, through quarantine and all that stuff, and it shows.
Braden, this is Pete Uiagalelei from the AP. Happy for the off week. Wish it were. You wish you could play a couple more games before. How do you guys feel coming into the break?
I personally wish that we could have a few more games, but I guess it's a good time. We have some guys that are banged up, so I guess it ended up being good timing. And like I said, with the coronavirus and stuff, you want to have breaks where you can postpone games, you can reschedule games, things like that. So I think it all worked out for the best, especially, we got some guys who are injured that, that we need to get back before we're on this 6 or 7 game stretch. So, I feel like it ended up coming up at a good time, but yeah, I would like to have a few more games before we get a little break, but it all worked out for the best.
Hey, Braden, this is Todd Shaughnessy in Spartanburg. How did you deal with things last year, especially, mentally?
I just really relied on my mom and relied on my faith, to be completely honest with you. There were days whenever I was struggling. But I had to realize that football is what I do and it's not who I am. And that's tough for a 19-year-old guy to learn when that's pretty much all he's been doing. It's pretty much what he's known for. But yeah, it was tough times, but like I said, I was just relying on my parents, relying on my faith, and just trying to become better every day, trying to become a better person every day, not necessarily focusing on the player. Obviously that was just a natural, coming to practice, doing things like that, but just focusing on my mental health, and just focusing on, the things that I'm passionate about outside of football. But like I said before, it was a tough time, but I'm glad we finally got through it. And it all, like I said, it all worked out for the best. I get the year back on the back end if it's needed. So I think that's just God looking down on me. I think that's the biggest blessing.
Was there somebody in particular who kept you positive?
Yeah, I talked to Dan Leanne a lot. He's a pastor at New Spring Church here. I still to this day eat lunch with him pretty much either every week, every other week. He keeps my spirit healthy, he keeps my mind fresh. He just gives me good perspective. And like I said before, it's just a blessing to have people like that in my corner whenever you're going through something like that, because like I said, I wouldn't waste that on anybody. You haven't done anything wrong, and obviously you just have to take the consequences that are given. But at the end of the day, it all worked out, and I'm just thankful to be able to be back playing this year.
Braden, this is Larry Williams again. Obviously, during a game or even a practice, you guys are locked into what you're doing. But how hard is it when Trevor has the command of the game that he does and is just sort of playing a different game? How hard is it to keep from just marveling sometimes at some of the throws that he's making?
Yeah, when you're in the game, when you're in the moment, most of the time, you can't really. I don't necessarily pay attention to it. But then when we go back and watch film, I'm like, how did he make that throw? And there's just some things you question, like I didn't realize when we played Wake Forest, I ran the corner to the field, and I didn't realize how hard of a throw it was, but he just made it look so easy that I think a lot of people just like kind of overlook it because they expect that from him. And that's what he's shown, in practice every day since he's been here. So a lot of things that he does on an everyday basis comes as a surprise to some people, who don't see it all the time. But I mean, he's obviously the best quarterback in the country, and he continues to make, amazing throws, whether it be in practice, whether it be in the game. But yeah, I think sometimes you have to see it multiple times, and you have to realize that, okay, yeah, that was kind of a hard throw before you actually, because sometimes he just makes it look too easy.
With Amari, how much more of a diverse threat is he as a receiver this year than before? It seems like he's now catching balls sort of all over the field now.
Oh yeah, he's playing. I think he's pretty much playing all over the field. I think he knows every single receiver spot. So I think Amari is just like I really think he trains himself and he works like a pro. He's one of the most determined guys. As you can see, he came back from ACL surgery and in a quick amount of time, quicker than your average time. And I just think he's one of the best leaders, and he's one of the best guys on the team, if on or off the field. But yeah, he's learned everything, and I think he stepped up in that role because Ross is out. We have a young receiving corps, so we just have to have guys be able to play a lot of different positions, be able to move people around. And Amari would be the first guy you put at the 9 or at the 2 or at the 5, no matter whatever we're doing. He knows all the route concepts, and he's just a very smart, intelligent football player. So that helps him out too. But yeah, his determination and his work ethic is what sets him apart from other receivers in my eyes.
Hey, Braden, Josh from the Post-Courier here. To that end, what was it like to see Frank Ladson have that big game with career highs and catches, receiving touchdowns and receiving yards?
Yeah, that's big for Frank, and I think it's big for anytime when those guys get a chance to they get a chance to make plays and get a chance to build their confidence, because we're gonna need it going down the road. I think that was a big game for Frank. I think he might have missed a few, or wish he could have had one back against Wake Forest. And obviously, you know, he just let that roll off his shoulder. And he made plays against the Citadel, so that was big for him. I know that boosted his confidence a lot. And like I said, we need as many people as we can, you know, going on this stretch. So we need everybody to have that confidence and have that tenacity about them and be able to go out there and make plays. And that's exactly what Frank did.
Have you noticed him? Does he feel more? Has he felt more confident in the last couple of days?
Yeah, I think you just once you get used to the routine and you get used to the rhythm of, you know, being here. I mean, it's kind of hard when you're a freshman. You know, you don't really know how much you're gonna play, what you're gonna do. You know, you're looking at guys like T. Higgins and guys like Ross, who are just like superstars, and then you're thinking, man, it's never gonna be like that with me, or things like that. And you just need to focus on, you know, being the best version of yourself and just being the best that you can be. And I think Frank and Joe and all those receivers are starting to understand that they don't have to compare themselves to, you know, to receivers before them, and they just need to go out there and focus on being the best version of themselves. And I think that's why they're going to be, you know, great receivers. And I just think that's the biggest thing. When you just focus on being the best version of yourself, then everything else will take care of itself.
Hey, Braden. David Hood. I think that Larry's question about Trevor was fantastic, talking about the throws that he makes. We hear that DJ has that same kind of arm strength. What have you seen out of him in practice or maybe a game? Has there been one throw that stands out? And kind of how would you compare him? You were around Trevor when he was a freshman. Kind of compare him to Trevor at the same point.
I would probably say, you know, off the field, you know, they're to themselves a lot. They have dry humor. Like, they're not really trying to be funny. They're not really jokesters, but, you know, some of the things they say can just come off as funny. But as far as playing, I think DJ's picked up the offense fast. And I think that, you know, when Trevor got here, it was kind of like it was a battle of like who would be starting, you know, who would do all this. And I think DJ's been actually able to come in and just learn under him. And just know that, okay, I can be here for a year and get all the knowledge I can from him, get the knowledge I can from him, and you know, that'll help me out later on down the road. And I just think Trevor's taking him under his wing. But I mean, there's so much. DJ's so strong. He's like 6'5", I think like 250, 2 something. So yeah, he's a very strong guy, and his arm strength is incredible. Yeah, he throws the ball very hard, very strong. But at the same time, I think he's in control of the offense. He's starting to be in control of the offense. He's starting to understand, you know, protection schemes and things like that. And I just think he's going to be a great player.
Hey, Braden, it's Trevor again. What will you do with your break this weekend? Will you see your family down the road? Will you watch football, or will you just give your mind a break from football and all that?
No, I'll definitely be watching football. I think the SEC starts this weekend, so I'll definitely be, you know, watching some of their games, seeing how they're handling things. But other than that, I'll just be, you know, relaxing. Probably stay on a schedule, you know, have 2 days off this weekend. But other than that, I'll just be, you know, around here, you know, watching football, just chilling.
Any more questions for Braden?
Braden, can you pronounce DJ's last name? And if so, did it take you a while to do that?
I think it's DJ Uiagalelei. I don't know if that's right or not, but I think that's as close as I can get. I used to think it was Uiagalelei, but I think that's how you pronounce it, I think.
About Tyson.
Can you spell it? Can you spell it?
Ooh. Uiagalelei. That's my guess.
One extra I. Yeah, one extra I in there.